Hello and welcome to this Southampton 5 in 5. Applying to medicine. Number 1, it's a lifelong process. What some students might not realise is that by studying medicine, you're potentially entering into a career of lifelong learning. Once you've finished your initial medical training, there can be years of further study to reach those higher specialist roles. I use the example of training as a GP. This can potentially take up to 11 years after you finish your A-levels. We do recommend that students have a look at the Royal College websites to find out how long it takes to train in various specialities, because as you can see from this graph, it can take up to 16 years potentially from when you begin your medical training. Don't forget, you're never going to stop learning or being assessed. It's definitely something to consider. Number 2, entry profile research is key. Each medical school will have a slightly different way of assessing applications. Now initially, your physical application will be considered, and these 4 factors will decide whether you can progress further. Make sure you know how your 4 university choices use them. Some universities rank GCSE key subjects. Some universities will require 2 subjects, potentially 3 specific ones. Consider your UCAT or BMAT score. Some universities will take different scores in elements of these, and they can be interpreted differently. And personal statements. Some universities don't use them, some score them, and some use them in a tie-break situation. The good news is that this information on how applications are scored is usually available on medical school websites, available for you to download. If you're lucky to get through to an interview, consider the style of interview. So it could be a traditional panel, or it could be a multiple mini interview. Some universities combine these and have assessment centres or selection days, but make sure that you play to your strengths when going forward and choosing universities. Number 3, know the type of the course. It is a completely individual choice. It might be really tempting to apply for any medicine course, but it's really key that the course structure fits your learning style. For example, you might suit a more traditional learning style, or you might suit problem-based learning. You may wish to have a combined, so an integrated or a systems-based course with integrated work placements. Do also consider the length of the course between 4 and 6 years, and whether or not intercalation is an option. Intercalation is sometimes an option on a 5-year course and gives you a chance to take a year out to study a different undergraduate or postgraduate degree. It can help boost your foundation training application, so it's definitely worth considering. Number 4, personal statements and work experience. The NHS Constitution and Values is a great place to start. As a medical applicant, you should know these off by heart. They will help guide your work experience and make you a better candidate. Now, whilst it can be difficult to gain hospital experience, consider this. The value of long-term commitment versus short-term shadowing can often be great. Take opportunities to talk to patients and residents, service users, as well as other staff. Make sure you keep a diary, whilst remaining confidential, obviously, to make sure that you can reflect on what you've learned at the end of each day, and you can often use this towards your personal statement. Also, make sure you speak to your supervisor before you leave, and ask if they're happy to act as a referee in the future. Remember, it's a privilege to be allowed to volunteer. There are other students just wishing to do this, so it really is a privilege. Personal statements are a really important part of your application, so carefully review what universities have asked for, be it communication skills or empathy skills, and treat the statement like exams. Have you answered every question? Why do you want to be a doctor, and why do you want to study medicine? Show the selectors what you've learnt from your work experience. It may be your only chance to talk about your experience before interview. Ensure that it's entirely truthful and just make it your own. You are one of thousands of applicants. And number 5, coping with rejection. When your hard work doesn't pay off, it can be difficult to come to terms with when you're unsuccessful. A really good place to start though is ask yourself this question: did you achieve at least 3 A's at A-level or the entry requirements needed? If the answer is yes, try again. Definitely consider clearing places, or complete a gap year and try and gain the skills and experience in the areas that might have let you down. If the answer is no, consider some medicine alternatives, or consider completing a first degree and attempting to graduate entry medicine. Do look into foundation programs too. Never give up, you can do it. So, Understand the lifelong learning aspect of studying medicine. Research all different entry profiles before selecting your 4 options. Know the best way of learning for you and research different medicine teaching styles. Your personal statement should showcase your work experience. And don't give up. Thank you for listening and good luck with applying for medicine.